Hey guys, this is Mike with Open It and Play. Today we're going to be taking a look at the super articulated Black Widow figure. Now this came out a long time ago and I did an actual review, but that was at my relative's home in kind of like the worst lighting situation. And I always wanted to do a redo on that video. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to try taking another look at it and fresh out of the box. I bought one more of this because I'm trying to modify the figure into a slightly different looking aesthetic for the Black Widow. So this will be my new one to keep in this condition, and the other one will be the one that I customize. So this figure is a really good figure, but unfortunately she still goes for a very high price. This one cost about $50. So, you gotta really like Black Widow to pay that kind of money, or you gotta be like a big Avengers fan, I think. But Black Widow is one of my favorite female characters from Marvel, so it's no problem for me. I've made like, 3 or 4 kind of versions of Black Widow so far, so this is going to be the fifth one. The fifth one to kind of customize and kind of fine tune to yet another aesthetic. But I won't change this one, but my other version of this figure. So let's get her out of the box. I just popped this, but I haven't done anything else. You know what? We got to look at the box. I keep forgetting. So if you can see it okay. Hopefully you can see the box. It's a really nice looking box, but this was the time that we had no plastic free packaging, and I do have to say that takes away from the figure. So it takes away from the aesthetic, I should say, not takes away from the figure, but in some cases it really did take away from the figure because there were more quality control problems during the time period of this like plastic free packaging thing. And I'm sad to say that Marvel Legends or Hasbro really failed with that quality control issue. So let's get it open. We'll go through the accessories first. You've got your usual little legalese paper in here, so that's not really of any value. If you own any of these, you've seen it 1,000 times. But you can see she does come with a heck of a lot of accessories. We'll be running through them pretty quickly, but try to give everybody a good look, and hopefully the lighting will be better than my last video when I did this quite a long time ago now. Okay, so first off, let's take a look at her stingers. She's got these bracelets, these little gauntlets that she wears that shoot her little widow stings or her widow blasts. Now these guys fit with all the other Black Widow figures, so they do give you a great option. I honestly like the ones that are yet more of a yellowish color. These red ones are okay to go with the aesthetic of the character, but I don't know, the yellow ones seem to kind of pop more than these. These sort of blend into the black in an unlucky way. And then you have these little effects, and they're to go with her gun, or you have these little effects which are also to go with her stuff, little smoke effects. So those are nice and can be used with all kinds of Marvel Legends. So, and let's take a look at the next little bag. In here we have her alternate hands. So straight off the bat, we're going to look at those in a little more detail. Come on, camera, focus. So they are kind of a jet black, matte black finish. So they are pretty hard to show up on camera well. But trigger fingers, and then she's got these fists. Fists. Little fisties. Okay. And this is her first head sculpt that we'll take a look at. Well, this is a really nice head sculpt. I think probably for a lot of people, this will be their favorite. And this kind of works with basically any era. You could have it represent Black Widow. The others are going to be a little more stylized to fit certain times. But for this one, we've got alternate gauntlets, and these come with smoke effects attached. So those can look really cool for your display. I really like how they did those. They have a nice bright gold, but I will tell you, kind of a spoiler warning, the gold does sometimes rub off a little bit, but that's a problem with these kind of metallic paints. And then you can see we can put these blasts in either of these guns. This one comes with the silencer. The silencer is not removable for this gun. And this other smaller one is kind of your typical shield gun. The guns are honestly kind of disappointing. They're more minimalistic, so okay. And then we have this one, which is to represent more like her older fashion hairstyle. I think I've seen some artwork, modern artwork, that depicts her this way too, but I think this is more of a tribute to the like 60s or 60s or 70s era. But that's my impression. Honestly, I don't have any comics that I've seen from that era, so I'm not an expert on that era, but you may know, but Black Widow looked really different when she first came on the scene as the villain in the 60s. But we're not going to talk about that much more. So, okay, and then here is what you get in the box. I wanted to show these golds to see how consistent they are. So the two over here are actually more consistent, and this one is kind of a flat gold color because it's actually just the molded plastic. That's disappointing, and I honestly didn't remember that. Hopefully I didn't get one that was opened and they replaced it, but I don't think so because it matches the belt. But yeah, now this is a lot of people's favorite head sculpt because it's the modern head sculpt. Mine, her hair is really coming down on the face. Usually it sticks out just a little bit more than that, but this one is really across the face. And I've seen some people modify this head sculpt to take off that part of the hair, and it looks great too. Or they simply glue this up here so she has her face showing. I think some people use that even for Scarlet from G.I. Joe's face, but okay. And as we look at this figure, sorry, I'll zoom out just a little bit for the focus. As we look at this figure, I'm going to try to lock it. You will notice that she does have a lot of articulation compared to the typical female figures. She does have butterfly joints, and she does have this thing called the reverse ab crunch, which some people really love and some people don't like. But I'm a fan overall. I don't think that action figures have to move in the most realistic way, but I do prefer much more posability, so you can like put them in the poses. It's nice if they aesthetically look realistic, but it's not the most important thing to me. So as long as you can kind of put them in the poses. But okay, so let's take a look at her articulation. So her head her head is still on a disc hinge ball joint, but with the shorter hair, you can get her to pose further back. But with the longer hair, it's definitely going to be very challenging. She still can't look up very much because of the restrictions of her collar touching the back of her head back in here. So, but I think you're going to be able to do most of the things you want to do. She does have a little bit of side to side for attitude, and she can look down very far. Okay, and then we talked about the butterfly joints here. Is it still in focus? Yeah. The butterfly joints here, they don't have the best range. You heat them up one time and they might go a little bit further, but they're not the best, but they are new for a female figure, so they are a lot better than no butterfly joints as far as I'm concerned. So you have more options with posability. Her arm goes up to here. She's got the bicep cut, double jointed pinless elbows. That'll get you very good range all the way back to there. And whoops, now we'll go to her diaphragm joint. So she can go to the side a little bit. It's not the best. You may be able to modify it, but I've heard that inside here is kind of more complicated than they needed to make it. They sort of made it hard to modify. So if you're going to try to mod it, you might be careful. I would recommend X Scorpio's channel, see if he modded this figure, because he is very good at modifying them, and he might save a lot of us a lot of trouble if we try to modify something that can't be done. He's probably done it before, and he can probably give you some tips in his videos. So he's also really friendly. So she can look down only a tiny bit and up only a tiny bit. But once we get the reverse ab crunch in, she can look down much further, and she can look back crazy amount. Really, really, really. So some people don't like the way this sticks out here. It's not a big deal to me, but some people don't like that part. So, okay, and then moving on to her legs, she can kick up very high. She doesn't have drop down hips, but she does have a lot of flexibility. So she can go real high with her kicks. Okay, and she can go back just a little bit, pretty common for Marvel Legends. Then she has the thigh cut and her double jointed pinless knees. When I modify this figure, she's going to have pins because I don't know how to modify them another way. But and then I've already shown you this, but no, maybe we haven't. But yeah, double jointed pinless. I already showed you. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I just kind of like skipped to the ankle and then like, no, I got to do this. No, I already did it. But her ankles will go down all the way and up really far, and then she does have ankle pivot. So this one feels looser than my other figure, so you might want to watch that. She might need some kind of adjustment. I don't know the details about how to adjust that, but you know what? I forgot to tell you about her wrists. I'm sorry. So her wrists will go back very far and down that way. And we saw those other hands. So these are open, and she's got the trigger finger hands, and she's got her fists. So let's customize her just a tiny bit real quick. We'll give her the straighter Widow Sting and hook her up with a fist to fire that. Try to give her a good look for shooting that most common weapon of her. And I'll try to pose her up just a little bit. So kind of like that. She's firing at us. I need to keep her elbows straight, and I need to adjust this part. That might look a little bit closer, but yeah, she moves pretty easily for the most part, right out of the box, and I think she's just a really good looking figure. She's not the end all be all of the action figures, but she's good. She just shouldn't cost quite as much as she does. I think the original retail price was $35, but yeah, she's running about $50 right now. So if you don't have her, I recommend getting her, especially if you can find her at a reasonable price. Okay, thanks for looking at this super articulated Black Widow figure. That was from the Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest series. And now my phone is going to screw up just at the end of the video. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, that's it. Bye for now.